Hello, fabulous Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. I tell you, for you in particular, it is an amazing month. So let's take it one at a time. I'm going to go back and forward before we come back to the center and we come back to this month. So last month we had 2 full moons. The last full moon of last month was a lunar eclipse. I spoke about this at length in last month's horoscope. It was in your opposite sign. So as you're starting this month, you're carrying in this energy of the lunar eclipse. And we are in eclipse season in the first half of the month. And eclipse season is set to be a time where the veil between the worlds is especially thin, making it that much easier to connect with wisdom of your ancestors and the wisdom of yourself. Now, fast forward to next month. Next month is a blue moon month. We'll have 2 full moons once again. So somewhere in there, the universe needs to make it up, and that means it's this month. We're only going to have a single lunar event, and it is big for you because it is an eclipse in your sign. Now this eclipse is happening hand in hand with Mercury and also speaking in harmony with your ruling planet Uranus. So it's adding that much more Aquarian energy to an already very Aquarian event, a new moon solar eclipse in your sign. Eclipses are a big deal. When you have an eclipse in your sign, it tends to represent a time when you are starting again, and that fresh start may come about in ways that surprise you, may come about in ways out of nowhere, but you really are getting honest with yourself about what you want in your heart of hearts, about what matters to you most and what matters to you first, and an identity goes through a shift as well. So I have shared some examples before, and I'm going to share them with you again now because I have seen people go through big changes when there is an eclipse in their sign. So here are some of the things that I've seen, and it's going to be unique to you in light of your unique circumstances. But remember, this is about your identity getting a whole fresh start, getting a whole other perspective. It's like what was there in front of you this whole time. You didn't recognize, you didn't see, and now all of a sudden you get it and you make a change in a moment. You know that you are different. So I have seen people quit using drugs. I've seen that a few times actually. I have seen people stop smoking weed. I have seen people, I remember one person went vegan at an eclipse. Another person was vegan for 10 years, started eating meat again at an eclipse. And this is because all of these things were very closely identified with some identity that they held about themselves, and they realized that they were different. They were no longer who they had been, and they were ready to start fresh and start anew. I've seen lots of people choose whole new paths for their lives, new places, new careers. So there's new relationships as well, because this has to do with getting very honest with yourself about your own heart and what matters in your heart. So if we're talking about this in the context of love, right? This is where relationships can start, relationships can solidify in an instant, relationships can also be left behind in an instant as well. At the end of the day, you know when you're done with a certain way of being, and you know where it is that you are ready to start fresh. What I love about this energy, though, is that it is so personal. It is so much about you. And that gives you a lot of power. Now, the important thing is, of course, to stay open to inspiration, to see where it is that you are meant to go next, and more importantly, whom it is that you are meant to be next. But ultimately, your answers, your truth, and this new path in front of you that you are ready to blaze will start with you. Sometimes the truth can be hard, right? They say, it's Gloria Steinem who said, the truth will set you free, but first it'll tick you off. She didn't actually use that word, but it'll tick you off. I don't see that ticking off part that strong. What I'm seeing here is, yes, there is truth, And yes, there's a whole lot of freedom in it as well. Now, speaking of love, I mentioned that the eclipse can speak very powerfully for love as well. That love energy started before the month even began. So last month, as we're ending with that lunar eclipse energy, you're already thinking about and considering love, possibly someone new entering the picture to help you to see yourself more clearly or see where you are in love as reflected in the eyes of another. But now, the great thing about this month and the first part of the month is that we're going to have Venus in your sign. And Venus in your sign, you know, it just makes you attractive, I must say. It makes a person a magnet. And so it tends to be a really nice time to enjoy whatever it is that you consider pleasure and beauty. So however it is that you define that, whether it's new clothes, new tattoos, new hair, whatever. It tends to be a good time for that overall. But of course, it tends to be a good time in love as well. Love has an easier way of just showing up because you have a certain magnetism to you. So if you are open to meeting someone new, know that you've got these powerful days in the first part of the month, at least the first 10 days of the month, where you have a lot of cosmic support for drawing love into you. Important with Venus to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life. You add the energy of that lunar eclipse, well, it does suggest that at least someone is there to help you to understand something about love and that you have options in love. For those of you in an established bond, it could very well be that this eclipse represents a shift in your relationship because you yourself are changing and what you want and who you know yourself to be is changing, and that could bring a shift in the relationship. So again, some people, they solidify relationships, change names, that can happen too, or they decide that they're better off going in a more liberated direction. With Venus though, in the first part of the month in your sign, you are believing in love and you're believing that love is possible for you. And so this can be really beautiful in established bonds, but it can also be really beautiful to help you to believe that there is love in the world for you. What I love about this month for you is that you have the power. It is with you. However, the greatest power is you being open to the possibility of whom it is that you are most meant to be next. Eclipses are about a fated path opening up to you, a path that ultimately aligns you with greater love and greater wisdom as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every single week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded exclusive video scopes every week, plus now daily horoscope messages, and you also get early access to the monthly horoscopes as well. All of this in the superstar space. Well, thank you so much again. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.